Miguel Perez Jr. is facing deportation. He committed a non-violent drug offense. Now, right off the bat here, let me just say, I've weighed in on this before, and my take is non-violent drug offenses shouldn't even really be considered offenses, because I think it should be legal to do something with drugs that is non-violent. Take them, sell them, whatever. That's the same thing as somebody selling whiskey, somebody selling alcohol. I don't think that's a crime, shouldn't be a crime. So right off the bat here, I'm not in favor of deporting Miguel Perez Jr., but there's something a little different that makes this story particularly egregious. So Miguel Perez Jr. is a private first class in the Army. He's that, and again, he's facing deportation. Now, furthermore, he served 2 tours in Afghanistan. He served 2 tours in Afghanistan, a nonviolent drug offense he was found guilty of, and they're looking to deport him. That is so wrong. I can't. So this guy goes and fights for the United States of America. And by the way, just to be clear, I never really blamed the troops for the disgusting, shitty criminal actions of the politicians. The politicians are the one that choose where the troops go. And to put that on the troops, it's not... I don't think they bear so much of a burden of the blame here as much as the neocons themselves do, the corporate Democrats do, and everybody who votes for these useless wars. But either way, even if, we have a gigantic issue with the Iraq war, nobody can deny that the Afghanistan war at the time was much more reasonable than the Iraq war. Now, I don't know if I would have voted for it if I was in there, but, the argument was, hey, Al-Qaeda attacked us. Al-Qaeda is currently in Afghanistan. So it's like, okay, they attacked us, and now it's like more of a self-defense thing. Let's get Al-Qaeda before they get us again. So the war in Afghanistan was a smarter war than the Iraq war. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. But again, even having said all that, I obviously still, if I were to be in favor of Afghanistan, which I don't know if I would have voted for it if I was there, I would already be out because we already destroyed Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. But we did that, and then we said, well, let's stay and fight the Taliban too. But the Taliban didn't attack us. They're horrific people. They're terrible, but they're a guerrilla army in the region. They're not planning an attack against the U.S. So what do you... And then it gets into, well, maybe we're there for minerals and the opium trade and a million other things. And it's not just about keeping us safe. But either way, so this guy went and fought in Afghanistan twice. And now we're like, yeah, it's nice. We're going to kick you out because I don't even know what maybe he's caught with some weed or some coke or whatever it was. It's embarrassing, man. I feel horrible for this guy, but it's honestly embarrassing. Like, the rest of the world looking at us, like, how do you... Seriously, think about that. You're going to have somebody fight and put their life on the line for the country in Afghanistan. And then they get caught with some drugs, and it's like, now we're just going to deport you because he's a green card holder. Now, again, I just need everybody to understand. I always have to add this for clarity's sake, man. I'm consistent. So I was against Obama's, deportations when he broke the fucking record. He broke the record, 2 million deportations. 90% of them apparently were criminals. So if it's a violent criminal, I'm fine with deporting him. I'm in favor of deporting those people. I don't know what percentage were drug criminals. If he deported drug criminals, I'm against that. And I'm definitely against that 10% that he deported that were not criminals. But so I argued against that, and now I'm here to argue against what Trump's doing because there does seem to be a recent wave of stories here that are just indefensible, like taking a woman that had a brain tumor from a hospital and bringing her back to a detention facility. She's in the hospital with a fucking brain tumor. She needs surgery. And, immigrations officers are like, no, let's just take you back to the detention facility. What are you doing? That's fucking nuts. You're not treating human beings as human beings. Again, I get it. If you're a criminal and a violent criminal, I'm deporting you, and I don't care. You don't give me your fucking sob story. You shouldn't have committed a violent crime if you wanted to come here. But if you're an undocumented immigrant and you're just trying to do the right thing and work hard and take care of your family and create a better life, that's what America is about. I mean, fuck's sake, how was this country founded? We came here and did a genocide of the Native Americans. So maybe we're concerned about the violent immigrants because we were the violent immigrants. When I say we, I don't literally mean us. I mean ancestors who came here. But now we have people who go and fight in Afghanistan for us, and because they committed a low-level drug offense, and their name is fucking Miguel Perez Jr., you go, well, let's deport him anyway. Fuck him. I mean, this is Steve Bannon's brainchild. You know, Steve Bannon did an interview with Trump early on in the election, early on in, I think, the primary process. And he argued that even high-skilled immigrants, we shouldn't really let in the country. I mean, think about how extreme that is. Trump himself was like, because I think he was referring to South Asian, so Indian immigrants in Silicon Valley. And Trump was like, no, tremendous. We need high-skilled immigrants here, and it'll help with the economy. Believe me. Let me just tell you. So in other words, Trump makes a distinction between low-skilled immigrants and high-skilled immigrants. And so he's more nuanced. It's hard to put Trump and nuance in the same sentence. But he's more nuanced on that point. Whereas Steve Bannon was like, no, because we're not. It's also about a culture we're creating. And in Steve Bannon's eye, or in his mind's eye, I should say, he thinks, well, I mean, come on, they're not white. So he's at the very least sympathetic to this alt-right idea of a white ethno-state. And when you see stuff like this, you go, oh, we are kind of inching in that direction now, aren't we? I'm not saying we're actually going to get a white ethno-state, to be clear, but I'm saying that recent actions show that they're willing to play loose as a motherfucker to get away with deporting as many brown people as possible. And if that means taking somebody who served 2 tours in Afghanistan and trying to deport them, they don't care, they're going to try it. I mean, this should be rejected out of hand, man. A nonviolent drug offense, and he served 2 tours in Afghanistan, and you might deport him? It embarrasses me, and I think it embarrasses the country, and I think it puts a really gross, ugly face on America. Not that it's been good at all recently. I mean, when was the last time it looked good? Directly post-World War II? Then started all the nation building and imperialism and all that garbage. But this does appear to graduate to another level of grotesque. Don't do it. Don't deport this poor guy. He simply doesn't deserve to be deported. He deserves to stay here.